Our enterprise is a part of a large production association in Arkhangelsk, which is engaged in the production of medicines. We use various pharmaceutical equipment that meets the requirements and standards of GMP for production, a unit for dehydration of aqueous solutions, and extracts in a fluidized bed apparatus, rotary tablet machines, an automatic line for packaging tablets into plastic film, and foil and other high-tech machines and apparatuses. At the beginning of last year, we received a large order to supply a medicine. We signed a contract for 2 years. The drug was to be supplied in a 30 milliliters plastic container. Implementing the order at our facility was not possible without the purchase of new equipment. To ensure a continuous production cycle, we needed to buy automatic capping equipment with a capacity of 15,000 vials per shift. The capper is used to feed the bottles automatically, and closes the neck of the bottle with rubber plugs, and aluminum caps as well as screw caps. We planned to use white plastic caps as the capping element. The material of the equipment had to be durable and hard-wearing. In case of production necessity, we planned to repurpose equipment for 100 milliliters glucose vials. This criterion had to be taken into account when purchasing filling and capping equipment. I have been working at our company for 10 years as a chief engineer, and I am used to doing my work with quality and working only with specialists. I took the choice of a filling machine very seriously. I didn't look for equipment on the internet, because very often a pretty picture hides unprofessionalism. I visited the International Exhibition of Equipment, Raw Materials and Technologies for Pharmaceutical Production, which was held in Moscow. There were many machines for bottle capping on display, companies from all over the world. I chose 3 that best suited my requirements, and took contacts from the representatives. The selected automatic equipment should have been agreed with the management, and then the contract for the supply was concluded. Having returned to the company, I started contacting the representatives of the equipment manufacturers by telephone. A company from Germany agreed to supply capping equipment, but asked me to come and sign the contract in person. Unfortunately, I could not travel to the EU, as I did not have a visa, and the process would have taken at least 3 months. One company from China sent me a catalog of products in the mail. I chose for a long time, but I could not figure out whether the equipment can fill bottles of plastic, with the allowable volume of bottles. A third manufacturer from Krasnodar listened to me and replied that he could make the equipment only 6 months, citing the large volume of orders. I had to refuse, since I needed the machine in the shortest possible time. The contract for the supply of eye drops was already signed, and we could not wait for automatic capping equipment for such a long time. The machine had to be found, and I realized that I could not do it alone. This made me a little less confident. Here, however, I was helped by the manager of a company in Krasnodar, who advised me a specialist in the supply of pharmaceutical equipment, which would be able to find another option of equipment. Following his advice, I contacted a specialist intermediary of a Russian company. At that time I had no idea that I was doing the right thing. The manager of the company in Moscow listened to me, asked a few questions on the material of bottles, the required productivity, the error tolerance of dosing equipment. I was pleased with his professional and business-like approach. After preliminary consultations, he suggested an automatic equipment for sealing with plastic caps with the possibility of using different dosing vessels. A week later we concluded a contract for the automatic capping equipment. The machine works perfectly. There have been no failures in operation. Initially I was skeptical about choosing a manager, relying on my own experience, but I realized that one should always learn, and not be afraid to trust a professional.